Okay.
Welcome to another episode of Rare Connection, where we explore the challenges and breakthroughs and stories of those living with rare diseases. I'm your host, Joanna, and this month we are raising awareness for homocystinuria as part of October's focus. Today, I'm joined by Erika. I'm the mother of a 24-year-old adult with classical homocystinuria. Because Erika's daughter, Alexa, is nonverbal, Erika will be speaking on her behalf.
Yes.
Sharing their unique journey. This conversation will touch on the important topics like newborn screening and the Medical Nutrition Equity Act, which has recently been introduced into the U.S. House of Representatives, where we are still looking for a Senate Republican to sponsor a Senate Republican sponsor to help bring the crucial bill to the Senate floor. It, if passed, the act would ensure access to essential medical foods, formula, and vitamins through for those who need them nationwide. Before we dive in a quick but important note, we aim to provide valuable information. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Please consult a medical professional before making any changes to your or your family or your loved ones' care. Also, because we will be touching on some topics that do intersect with political discussions, we kindly ask that you keep the comments respectful and focused on the subject at hand. Political discourse political discourse can be helpful, but let's keep let's keep it productive and respectful. Thank you again. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. So could you share your, could you tell us about Alexa's?
Alexa? Yes, I'll tell you a little bit about my journey, well, Alexa was born in Mexico City. We're from Mexico City. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately in Mexico, well, like in all countries, United States and Latin Americans, we do not unfortunately have, when they're born, they're not, sometimes 20 years ago, 24 years ago, they didn't actually look for these syndromes. They did everything. She was born, I had to have a C-section at the end of my trial. And when she came out, everything seemed perfect. Everything, she was like a regular baby. They did the test that they were supposed to do. And when everything was good. When she was 8 months old, I saw one of her eyes going inward, and I took her to an ophthalmologist over there. They told me everything was going to be perfect. She was not going to be, it was like only the nose, that the babies were like little born with very high in her nose, that nothing was going to happen. When Alexa turned 2, she did everything. She walked. I mean, she crawled when she had to crawl. She slept. She ate perfectly. Everything was normal. Up to that point, we thought everything was good. Was my first daughter. She I didn't We had babies in the house, but my nephews were 10 years older than Alexa, so we really didn't have any where to go, what difference, because we were see that she was talking. She said mom when she had to say, she said that when she had to say it, everything perfect. When she was 2 years old, I put her in a daycare. Going into the daycare, um, the director of the daycare had told me, listen, something is wrong with her. I don't think she must have something. As a first time mom, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, what does my daughter have? So we started doing research for, like, we thought she was deaf. We thought she something. But every time we said her name, every time we talked to her, she would listen and she would smile at us. So we were like, something is wrong, but we didn't know what. We did this literally. Well, I did speech therapy because she wasn't talking like other kids. She was babbling like a baby.
Mhm.
So we're like, something's wrong. Something must be wrong. Everybody's telling me. Then we started seeing. I took her. They put. I took her to another ophthalmologist because I lost touch with the one that I did when she was 8 months. This happened like when she was almost 3 years old. They put a glasses, and we're like, why does she need the glasses? Nobody told me of anything. We kept on putting. In Mexico, they did studies, but nothing came up. I went to her doctor, a regular doctor. Everything was perfect. We could not find anything with Alexa. Nothing whatsoever. When suddenly one time the glasses broke. This is how I found out. Her glasses broke, and we took her again to another ophthalmologist. This is the third time we have taken her to an ophthalmologist. And that's when we discovered something was wrong. I didn't, like a mom, I did not stop in 1 and 3. I took her again to the first ophthalmologist when she was 8 months old. He was very kind. He said, yes, there's something wrong. I do not want to alarm you. Let's see. We sat down. It literally took us like 2 hours, like an hour and a half. And we literally went through a list of things, of syndromes that we thought, or he thought, something could be wrong. He just said, I hope it's not this one because this one is deadly. That's how he referred it to. We went back. We took blood tests that we have never had done since she was born, in looking for a specific syndromes, because it was different syndromes. They thought it was Marfan. They thought it was literally, it was 20 different syndromes. We went back. I I was going to come to Miami because my grandmother lived here, and we came to Miami. I did the blood work. I left it in Mexico. Did that, finished that. The doctor called me, and he actually said, listen, your daughter has this rare syndrome called homocystinuria. Go look. Back in the days, 24 years ago, there were no computers. Nobody had really a computer at the house.
Mhm.
We went to the library to check to see what was this syndrome. He said, you are very lucky to be in Miami because the number one doctor that had back in the days just went from Boston to Miami to live to open this. Go look for him. Go look for him. I had to search this doctor. I had to search everything. We finally got to that doctor. He was here in University of Miami, the hospital. We went to him, and literally everybody was very, very nice. They talked to me, you know, they went, he talked to me. He said, listen, by the time Alexa was ready, 5 years, 4.5 years old, 5. Nobody knew about this syndrome. He even said, Alexa is literally the first little human that has this syndrome in Miami. We were all over the newspaper. We were trying to do the researchers. Back in the days, it was the Miami Herald. He was in the everything. We put it up. We started, you know, juggling. He's like, listen, we have these two formulas to give to the doctor. You know, thankfully, and I'm very pleased and I'm very happy that I had the reforce with my parents, my family. Everybody pitched in because the medications and everything was very expensive. We didn't have insurance. We didn't have anything. I was a resident. I wasn't a citizen. So I didn't know what, we went back to Mexico. We kept on going back and forth. They told us, he explained to me what homocysteine was. He even told me, take a lot of pictures because back in that time, I think her blood levels were literally like 2,000, almost 2,000 something, 3,000. They didn't, literally, they had told me Alexa was not going to live. She literally had 15 days or 10 days to live because if I kept on doing what I was doing regular, giving her food, regular food, everything. How I did it, because back in the days I got divorced from her father. I went to live with my parents. My mom and I literally, we came back to Miami. We lived here in Miami. We became citizens of the United States. It was how I did it. I go from levels through the protein. I check everything out, the whole Publix, the supermarkets. I just check I just check the proteins. It has to be. I literally only give her less than 6 grams, 7 grams of protein. I don't give her anything else. And her protein, thankfully, has been up and down. It went from literally that time when she was 5. I think from 2000 or something, I lowered it down because I did not go out. I cooked at home for her. I did everything for months, and I lowered her levels down.
Hmm.
Once Alexa has been going on, yes, I went to Medicaid in Miami. I have good insurance. Medicaid helped me a lot. I get her medications. She has her medications. He has her doctor every 6 months, every 3 months, every 2 months. Every time they tell me to get blood work, I get the blood work. And we go from there to do diet. She's a vegetarian completely. She does not eat fish. She doesn't eat meat. She doesn't eat nothing. I do. If I give her something, it's like literally Philadelphia cheese, and that's it. I don't give anything else. She eats pasta, but it has to be less than 6 grams of protein. I don't give her milk is the rice milk or um, the rare type of milks. It's like that's how I've been able to manage her. Alexa, unfortunately, I still think she has something else because when I went to the group in Boston that they had for the homocystinuria people, that I had never met one because in Miami there wasn't. I think there's 2 or 3 here in Florida, but I have never met them, or more. I don't know. I have never met them again. So when I went to the conference at I forgot her name right now, that they did in Boston, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of families with homocysteine. Alexa hasn't had any seizures. She hasn't had anything else except her eyes. That the lens is dislocated completely, and her verbal. She talks like a 2-year-old, 3. She understands everything. And and she tells me. The only problem that I have sometimes is by learning what, if she's sick. Like if she has a headache, if she has a stomach ache, but everything else, I could communicate with her, and she lets me, she tells me what she wants or what she doesn't want. I'm still struggling because she's, like I said, 24. She's 5'7". I have to bathe her. She never learned. I taught her, but she never learned. I have to bathe her like a baby, brush her teeth. She goes to the bathroom by herself. She cleans herself, but everything else, it's me or somebody else that helps me out. And and up to right now, her levels of protein, they're good. They're literally very good. And that's my journey. That's how I have to live, and I've been living with for 24 years.
Um, um, when you first learned that
Sorry.
or
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, listening to you right now. Sorry.
Okay. So, how old was she when you found out that she had classical homocystinuria?
When she was 4 years old.
Like it's cutting in and out.
When she was 4.
And she was
Yes.
what? Let's see. So, communicate with her. Do you use pictures? Do you write with her?
How do I communicate with her? No, she understands. She understands.
How do
How do I know that she
right?
understands? Because like if I'm telling her, do you want to eat something? What do you want to eat? Or like like a baby, you have to treat her like a baby. Unfortunately, I can't talk to her about what's on TV, or if something's outside. For example, if it's raining, I'll tell her, "Look, Alexa, it's raining," and she'll say, "Mom, raining. Mom, rain." Like I'll ask her things, and she'll answer in her way.
Mm-hmm. Words she does know.
The what? Sorry.
So there's certain words that she can say.
Some words she can.
Is she
Yeah, she could say it. Some words, and let me show you where she is right now. She loves her dolls. She loves. Let me show you so you could take a little hint of what I'm talking about. Alexa, say hi. Hi. Say hi, Alexa. Say hi. Hi. See? That's how she talks. She won't say anything else like, how are you? Say hi. Look, her ring. See? Look at her ring. Mhm. Mhm. See, that's how she like we can't ask so much from her, but that's how That's how I. That's how I'm living with her. You know. Mhm. Well, her syndrome. She doesn't have any, except for the diagnosis. She hasn't had anything. She hasn't had. We haven't had to go to the hospital, or she hasn't had to go. You know, anything according to no. She's nothing. Thankfully, we've been blessed, and no, it's only her eyes that have the. You know that she's dislocated her. You know her, but everything else she's good. She will never be obviously going to college. Going like she finishes, she goes to an ADT program, and you know they help her there. But that's it. I'm always gonna have a baby in the house. You know. Well, her daily life, unfortunately, she's not gonna be a regular child. You know, she's not even gonna be. She's always gonna need someone to help her out with everything. And like if you put music on her, she'll sing. It's funny because she'll learn the songs, but if you ask her um a color of something, or she won't you know, she doesn't know it. Like her, she does memorize it, but but if you tell her to sing it without the music, she won't do it. Uh, you know. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Mm. And when she wants something and you do not understand, she will get, you know, she gets. You could say she's like aggressive type, but not to harm anybody. You know, not to harm you, or not to, like, she'll pull you to you know, somewhere, you know, or to take you where she wants to, what she wants, without being aggressive. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Um, how did Alexis condition? Okay, okay, so we went to that. Okay, we just did that too. What? Uh, what? See, was Alexis' diagnosis through newborn screening, or okay, so no? Did you feel? How do you feel that newborn screening?
I think I think we do need a lot.
Since it's born. What?
I do think that we should do, like, they should be better in the newborn screening since the beginning, because I think that in those 4 years of her first, you know, in her life, they were very crucial. It was, they, like, if I think that if they had told me about her syndrome since day one she was born, and we would have had the medication, I think Alexa would have been better, to tell you the truth. I do think it did affect her, not knowing, because unfortunately, they would give her prescriptions. I don't remember the names, but they would give her prescription thinking it was something else back in the days. And you, as a mom, think that the doctors know what they're talking about, and know, you know, it's saddening. that we do not, up to this day, we still are having a hard time, and we're still fighting for newborn screening to go through this. When a lot of parents should be aware, should. And a lot of people, you try to explain to them, even if you go to a doctor, like a regular doctor that I had to switch, for example, when she would turn 21, that I had to switch from pediatric to a regular doctor. People don't understand that it's very difficult for us. I had to go and I had to fight for her rights. I had to take all her rights away because even in the, it's like, oh, she's already 18, she's 19, she could do, she could say yes or no for everything. And I had to fight. And I've been fighting, and I've been researching a little bit, and I've been, trying to see what we could do here in Miami, here in Florida, what we could do, because unfortunately, like they said, oh, if you were from England, everything, you would have had a better life. Or if you were from so and so, because they would have had discovered it. Why can't we discover? I'm not talking about Mexico, because it's like people say, oh, it's a third world country. Mexico is, it's very good. But we're talking about United States, and people, we're still fighting out. We're still fighting, and we're still struggling. Yes, I do. It's like I sometimes get upset about it. I thought I had to do something. It was growing up when Alexa was growing. I would take her to the beach. A lot of parents, because I'm not talking about children, parents, that they're special. They, she's a monster. They would call my daughter a monster because she wasn't talking and she wasn't like a regular child. People don't understand how difficult it has been for us parents having a special child. And they would call her four eye, they would say a lot of mean things to her. And for me as a mom, that I understood and I understand them, what they were talking about, it was hurting me. Because for her, she doesn't get it. She thinks everybody's nice. She loves everybody. She goes to you and literally hugs you and talks to you. Hmm? Mommy, what's wrong? See? Look, mommy, what's wrong? What's wrong, mommy? I'm talking about you. You know that I'm talking about you, right? What's wrong, mommy? Nothing. Everything's good. Everything is good. Okay. Okay. Bye. See, that's how she talks. Yeah. Hmm? That's how she is.
Yeah.
So I think the screening, instead of doing it 3 days before their people are born, because that's what the doctor told me, that she was still too attached to me when they did the screen, they did the test, that's why it didn't come out. They should do it 15 days or a month later, you know, or have something for when you're doing the test, these syndromes come up. So for me, it's in yes, I've been, because I'm reading that they discovered it before. Mhm, mhm, yeah. No, because when I did her, like I'm telling you, like when I did the test on her when she was 8 months, 8 months, and they did the ophthalmo the eyes and all that stuff. I saw her eye because they have the screenshot, they take the picture of the eye, the iris, everything. Everything was perfect. 3, 4 years later, coming up, because she was eating bad. She was even the bungee jump, when you're jumping, you know, it got everything. It got dislocated. Her lens literally got dislocated. And
Yeah.
and when she was like, I don't remember if it was when she was 8 or 10 years old, they told me about when they were starting to operate the eye so it could get. The doctor even told me, they're like, "Do you want to operate it?" But it's still on investigation. It's still not 100%. It's like literally 80/20.
Mm.
And I literally was very scared. I said no because I don't want I prefer her seeing something than not seeing at all.
So you never did the operation?
No, never. Never did the operation. Her eyes are the same.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's for me.
Was me. Yeah. So, for parents whose children were recently diagnosed through newborn screening, back on this, what advice would you offer based on your experience?
Well, at first, when like I said, when I started with all this journey that they had told me about it, everybody was telling me different things, and obviously follow the directions of your doctor, the medication, with the Homonex, with
Hmm.
Cystidane, with anything that they give you, what they give you, all the medications. Um, for me, what had worked, and like I said it before, looking at I'm not going through the methionine, because a lot of people do, oh, I do the calculations with the methionine and that's how I get, the results, and that. I look up every product, go to the groceries, every product, obviously the vegetables and the fruits. I don't, for me, they're like essentials, that's what she eats. But anything else, like the milk, um I think there's a cheese right now with it. Anything. You have to calculate the protein. Ask your doctor how much protein could she have per day. How much protein she could, with her protein also having it. How much she could have per day. For me, I think it's a 14, a protein per day, or 13. I don't remember right now. I don't have, but I follow like anything that has two or less, and that for me works. And that's how I've been able to restore her her proteins. So don't go crazy. There are people, that for new parents that are learning about this syndrome and everything, they are help. There's a lot of help. Try to get try to get help by somebody that has already lived it. And I think having this group helps a lot.
How would this bill affect families like yours? If
Like, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
so, with the medical,
You're cutting off. You got cut off. Sorry. The medical thing. Yes, she does. I When we went to Boston, I brought the Cambrook, the Cambrook foods that we had bought there.
Mhm.
Um, I think this is the first year I haven't bought anything, or 2 years, but because it's very difficult for me to get them because I'm, like I said, in Miami and they're more expensive.
Mhm.
So as a single mother, I have to budget everything. So I tried it. She did like it. Some food she did not like, but others she did. Like the pasta. I had a lot of pasta that I brought that she loves pasta. But I've been trying literally, like I said, you know, look for pasta that it's less than 3% or 2% protein.
Mhm.
And I think,
Uh,
sorry?
if the medical foods aren't affordable in your area, how um, have you or going through the different uh, channels for affordable?
I didn't, to tell you the truth, I haven't done it this year. I did, I haven't done it for the past 2 years because of her levels. But I think if her levels would have been high or something, I would have had gone, and seen more of her more of her, the food type, and see what I could
Mhm.
do, and, talk to my social worker, and talk to the doctors and talk, because at the beginning, literally in Miami, they did help me. The social worker did help me a lot. And we did get food free, from the
Mhm.
doctor. We did get the food free, the camper, food to get delivered in my house every month.
So you were able to get it for free.
Yes, but like I said, not I've been one of the luckiest, you know, to get it, because I've heard a
Mhm.
lot of people that don't have, because of their insurance, because of I thankfully had, a good insurance for her.
Right. The coverage is in every state, so that's what we're trying to work for.
Hmm.
And the reason why and have been for years.
Yeah, like I said, here, thankfully, I've been lucky. I know, I think 2 or 3 parents. Like a year ago, I reached out to a mom that lives here in Miami, that she was trying to get the formula for her child, and I haven't reached out back to her, to tell you the truth. I haven't. I don't. Because I don't want to intrude, to tell you the truth. But it was hard for her because her husband's insurance was not paying for it.
You mentioned that you were Have you faced any challenges accessing the medical nutrition Alexa needs?
I I've been lucky, to tell you the truth. I've been lucky for that everything that I've needed for Alexa, they have given me, and everything I've asked. Because, like I said, I have a good social worker and I have good doctors that sat down with me. And right now, for example, one of the things that I had the challenge of was that does not have, has been with her the dentist and the doc and the uh but that's a different thing. Alexa's afraid of needles now because of a lot of you know blood work that she's been through all her life. She cannot sit down and she cannot lay down in a chair with doctors. She sees a doctor and she freaks out. But everything else, that every time I go to the I go to the doctor. Um, the Her first doctor died, unfortunately, but the one that stayed here in Miami with her has been a blessing. Her and her nutritionist.
Yeah, as you do end up being a guinea pig.
Huh? Well, at the beginning, you have challenges because sometimes, if the cystidane or one of her medications that the because have lived it, that they run out, or because especially the cystidane, that the doctors weren't giving. I mean, not the doctors, the pharmacists were not getting delivered to Miami. They were either sold out, or the insurance didn't pay for it, or it was always something. I went through a lot of one year was very tough because I wasn't getting her cystidane. I had to be getting a, a different one, a genetic one. So it's been like in starting over with Alexa to take it, to drink it, because she has liked it, she has not liked, it depends. But up to right now, it's only been like literally for 6 months that was very tough in all her 24 years, but the rest have been very good. Thankfully, I've been lucky. God has given me a lot.
Um, for, Answers that illustrate your needs for this your need for
I'm sorry, it was cut off.
nutrition equity. So you were, so you
Not right now. I haven't had.
so I'm
I don't.
about
I
that
haven't
one.
had any food right now to order.
Yeah. So how have so sure Alexa gets the best possible care? Any tips?
Something is just day by day. To tell you the truth, we have to every day we wake up, and just pray and say, and try to live every moment, every second. We cannot think about in the future. We can't think what's with these kids. We have to treat them like regular kids. I don't like treating my daughter, any different. I have another one that's 8 years old, and I don't, she's right. She's a normal child. She doesn't have the homocysteine, but I try to give Alexa all my love and the kindness, and just be patient with you, and try and fight for them and be their leadership, be their sponsors, be the moms, be their everything, because these kids can't fight for themselves. Just try your best, and if one door closes, try to open another one. Don't sit around and wait. Do what you can to fight for them, and get their medications, and get their prescriptions, and get the doctors to hear you, because not all doctors know about this. Unfortunately, they say, "Oh, I studied it but never lived it." Nobody really knows what we are going through. I don't know in other countries, or in other places, but here in Miami, not a lot of doctors know about this syndrome, and they don't even study it. They don't care about it. They just care about other things, and they just care about the money. But you, as a parent, have to fight for them. Make them your voice. I've been lucky, like I said.
To be a paragraph in a textbook, yes.
Hmm?
Is pretty much most rare conditions are when they go through.
No, there's not a lot of information. You can't say. That's why it's very frustrating, because one doctor says one thing, and another doctor, because they really don't know. And that's what we have to find out. And I'm glad, there's a lot of research going on right now for this people, the syndrome.
Yeah.
Because for example, right now, like I said, I've been lucky and I've been blessed. Alexa hasn't been, hasn't gone to the hospital. She hasn't had any seizures. She hasn't had any operations. She hasn't had anything. But at the same time, for me, it's very frustrating, because I'm like, okay, I know she has this syndrome, but why can't she talk? Like, I see a lot of other kids that do talk, you know that they do communicate, and that they do regular lives, even though they're maybe 3 or 4, you know, years low than their regular. But literally, I get frustrated, and I have to pray, and I'm very Catholic, so I'm sorry. I have to really depend, trust God for all that He gives me. And I've been lucky, and I've been blessed, to tell you the truth, with Alexa. Because at the beginning, even I don't know if it was up, but when 24 years, like I said, the doctor didn't give Alexa more than 10 days, literally. And they would tell me, "Oh, she's not going to live." That's, 3 or 4 doctors told me she's not going to live more than this. She's not going to live more than regular. She's not going to be able to walk. She's never going to be able to do this. She's not going to be. Guess what? My daughter, thankfully, is 24 years old.
She's
She
walking.
lived, and she has lived.
Yeah, and she's walking too. So
Mhm.
she's
And she's doing her thing,
so
and
yep.
she's happy, and she's the happiest girl I could ever see.
For um, doctors a lot of times will tell you the worst case scenario. I've proven doctors wrong a lot myself, but and there is no better feeling.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. And I saw it when I went to the when I went to the conference with Diane that she did in Boston. Like it was the first time my mom and my sister and I went. Um, and we met a lot of parents and we met a lot of kids with it. It was literally for us an eye opening, that we could meet people like in this group and talk different things and talk, and get encouraged by them and see what um, you guys are doing and people to find out what this syndrome really is about.
Mhm. Well, did oh, see, classified and what role
Well,
have you
unfortunately,
have
like
you
I
do
said,
you would you ever consider a clinical trial for?
if they have offered it, if they offered me it to me, yes, I would. To tell you the truth, like I did when back in the days when Dr. Louis Elsis, that he was here in MU, had
Mhm.
told me about it. We did the McDonald. It was a trial that they were gonna do here, but in Miami and Florida, they don't do a lot of trials. They do the most up there, in Boston and in Chicago, all of They don't do it here in Miami. But if somebody has asked,
One now that I'm in.
hmm?
There is a clinical trial now through
Like if somebody tells me about it
to,
and I see it, they explain to me what is going to be and what is it. It depends, And yes, of course, I will put my daughter through it.
speak. Uh, it's an injection twice a week that you have to take.
Hmm.
Help you can take that you can have. Um,
Well, when my appointment comes, I think I have to see her doctor because normally I see them every 6 months now. And
mhm.
as soon as I see them and I'll talk to them and see, and we'll talk about the pros and the cons that it could help. And yes, of course.
So I don't.
I get the emails and I get the emails and I get the from Facebook and all that stuff. But as a newspaper, no, I don't get it.
After the emails from Facebook, I missed what you said.
That as the emails and Facebook about the homocysteine, I I do get
Mhm.
those. I don't get an actual paper to tell that if that's what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an email newsletter on it. See if she could send it to you.
Yeah.
Looking back, some of lessons or moments you've you and
Sorry, you cut off. I'm sorry. Like you read.
back, what are some of some of the most important lessons for
Living with
Alexa?
like the good moments that I've had is just having her and enjoying her and going through this journey with her with the medications, and then thankfully Alexa's not picky, so I could give her, she, even when she was 4 years old, she would eat the lettuce, she would eat the all her vegetables. I've been lucky in that situation, that she likes everything that I've given her. And they tell me, well, I've never given her, up to right now, like from 4 years old to now, she hasn't tasted meat or fish or chicken, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. That's my only struggle. But everything else, we have been good. We have been blessed with it. Going through everyday life and enjoying, and little by little, little steps, little steps.
Finally, what are your hopes for the future for Alexa and for the homosexual?
I hope, like I said before, I hope there's a lot of like doctors really get to know the syndrome and not, unfortunately, like you said, there's not a lot out there. Not 20 years ago. Today there's better things because we have more computers, we have more updates, but more, you know more more research, more things to understand for us parents, that we do not talk medical wise. We don't understand some terms. To have patience with us, because here, like I've seen a lot of parents just go to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, your daughter has this and this, and that's it. Bye. 30 minutes up, that's your appointment. A lot of moms, newbies,
Mm-hmm.
that worry and that we don't understand. Have patience with us. You know, be patient, be careful, and don't tell us, that we can't do something, and don't tell us that our kids are going to be not able to do a lot of things. We do need more research. We do need more help, and we do need more, like, the medication for them, and the food. Not only, like I said, if for me it had been a struggle. That's why, to tell you the truth, I quit calling Cambrook to get the food here, because for me sometimes it was not if I needed it for next month, I couldn't get that food. It was a struggle. So I had to think of something else. Like, we do need more these, like, up down here, or another place we could get it, you know, faster. And that's what I could recommend. That's my opinion.
See, thank you so much, Erika, for joining us today
You.
and
Thank you for
sharing.
inviting me, and literally to tell you a little bit more about my daughter and to my journey.
Mhm.
And I hope it helps some people, you know, and not
Mhm.
like I read the notes that they've been putting down here. It's like really, I just laugh at it because people.
Right. There are some things, yeah, the comments and
The comments, literally, people do not even
the-
understand. And I hope one of these days they could open their eyes and literally, God helps them.
Yeah, the comments, people need to watch what they're saying because it's hurtful a lot of times. But there, let's see. And that is something I try and words and block a lot of times too.
Mm-hmm.
But
we
no
can't help
matter what
it. There's a lot
happens,
of people ignorant.
there will be people like that.
There's a lot of people ignorant that we just
Yeah.
have to move on, and we have to,
Yep.
not deal with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. So to all our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rare Chef, and also my the podcast Rare Connection. I do cooking videos on YouTube also. It's been a while, but I have do them. So if you're listening to the audio version, you can also text me through the link in the show notes, which will be recorded afterwards. Additionally, I'm actively looking for board members to join my nonprofit under Rare Connection. Also, I'm seeking volunteers who are willing to commit to at least a year and have leadership experience and fundraising experience. Public speaking is also a plus.
Yes.
Let's see. While this is an unpaid position, it is a wonderful opportunity to gain valuable experience, especially if you have been out of work for a while. Before we wrap up, I want to talk a moment to share some important information about suicide prevention. If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help. You can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline by you can text 988. Call or text 988. The suicide for the Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Please don't hesitate to ask for support. Thank you again and for listening. And until next time, take care and stay connected. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everything. Bye-bye.
Sure.